Literacy as inspiration. The first recollection I have of reading a book on my own was at my grandparents' house. I was young, naive, and innocent. My grandmother kept some of the books that my father and his brothers had read when they were children. I always felt so smart and mature holding the old books and reading them out loud so my grandma could see what a good reader I was, and feeling a sense of pride as such basic words rolled off my tongue. The books always had that old book smell, musty and sour, filling most libraries. But to this day, this smell just reminds me of Billy and Blaze. Blaze was the horse that all of these books were about, and Billy was his human companion. After I googled these books to find pictures, I discovered that the first Billy and Blaze book was written all the way back in 1936. In these old books, Billy and Blaze had many adventures. The book that stands out distinctly in my mind is the one where Blaze saves Billy from a forest fire. I was obsessed with Blaze, and I thought it would be the coolest thing to have a horse like him. After reading one of these books, my sister and I would then play horses, meaning that we would crawl all around my grandparents' house, pretending we were horses and fighting over who got to be Blaze. We would go into the scariest parts of our unfinished basement and pretend we were in a dangerous forest. We would even beg our grandma for sugar cubes to eat, since that's what we had given horses as treats in the past. As we got older, we would play in the real forest in the backyard of my grandparents' house, and although we stopped pretending to be horses, we pretended to be on intense adventures. We would climb a large rock formation in which we would pretend our life depended on getting to the top, except back then we called it a cliff or mountain. These books inspired us to be the adventurous kids that we were. Being adventurous kids led us to be the way we are now. Not only did these books inspire the childhood games we played, but they sparked an interest in horses for both my sister and I. We began taking horse riding lessons at a young age and spent a lot of time at the barn. We started collecting briars, ceramic toy horses, and we still have them in our basement of my house. Although I grew out of my horse obsession phase, these books inspired me to get involved in something, which will be a part of the person I am forever. Books can get you interested in certain things or inspire you to do things you never thought about doing. As I have grown up, the books I read still inspire me. Although these books I read now do not compel me to crawl around on all fours and eat sugar cubes, they do inspire me in other ways. I read a book called A Long Way Gone by Ishmael Bea during my senior year of high school. This book was about the struggles in Sierra Leone in Africa. From reading this book, I have been really inspired to try to help countries with similar issues. When I got to DePaul, I found out about an organization called Global Brigades. Global Brigades is something where I can travel to another country and help those in need. Although this would have probably still interested me, even if I didn't read A Long Way Gone, I don't know if I would have been motivated enough to actually go through with it. Books can make you realize new things that are important to you and inspire you to do them. You may realize your life needs more adventure or purpose from reading a book, and for me, that is enough inspiration to accomplish it. I will always be thankful for Billy and Blaze, which were the first books that inspired me.